back in like 2011, maybe. I could be off, but I was talking to some friends and I thought I was so clever. And I was like, I have a new tagline, a new slogan. And it is disconnect to reconnect. And we got to shut down our devices and we have to connect with our partner. So, this was like 10 years ago, if not more, that I had this like, oh, I'm going to get off Facebook. I think that was actually when I took Facebook off of like my phone, off of the app. I still will log on. I go on like the super hard long way, which stops me from going on it as much as I once was. So that was my attempt at that disconnection, right? And I remember even a friend saying too, like, oh, did you see that on Facebook? I'm like, no, because I am disconnecting to reconnect. So it was a pretty big, hilarious thing. Obviously, here we are 10-ish years later, and my desire to have people disconnect to reconnect, while it's still there, I didn't get as much excitement about it. I got a lot of pushback. I got a lot of, here's why I can't. I have to be on my phone. Amazon's starting to take off, right? And it was just very much this culture and all these startups in Seattle of like, you have to have your phone and you have to call people back, and new iPhones coming out and all the different, and they're all cool. And now they have the coolest cameras, and now we have them out because we have kids and we have dogs and we have all kinds of animals, and we need to show everybody all the things we're doing all the time. Like sometimes I'm like, why do I know this much about this person? I don't even know that much about probably my husband. Or even better, like, so much about this person, or you think you do, come to find out they're getting divorced and there's not been that same level of happiness that you once thought that was going on. And I was so invested and was putting so much time, and I was so connected to the life outside of my own. Right? So like we are so connected to our devices and to what's going on in other people's lives. I mean, the Kardashians built an empire off of us caring about what they are doing. We are so invested in their every move that they're billionaires. I mean, good for them. I am here for it. They can do it. They got the people. People are willing to disengage so hard from their own life to invest in somebody else's. So I'm back with my slogan of disconnect to reconnect. We have to disconnect from all of these distractions. And they're not all just devices. A lot of them are. We live in a highly technical world. We are also very much connected to the news, to the general discord of humanity, of watching, whether we are someone who watches Fox News or we're someone who watches MSNBC or CNN or PBS or One America or whatever. I don't really care. I mean, I prefer you didn't watch a few of those, but whatever it is, we are often spending too much time watching that thing, too much time watching a reality show where we're just literally following. I mean, if you really watch the Kardashians, sometimes all they're doing is eating and going, yeah, and like silence, awkward silence, cut to, yeah, salad. That's what we're like paying so much hardcore attention to, and it's kind of sad. And we could be having so much more joy and presence in our own life if we disconnected from fantasy. So we need to disconnect from the TV. We need to disconnect from our devices, there are just little things. There are small things we can do that will make a big impact. So instead of me coming in and be like, all right, everything's gone, you would be like, get off of this. So let's go slow. Let's start by taking off any alert on your phone. So if you are getting alerts from like Poshmark or Instagram or Facebook or even your emails, even text messages, depending, right? Sometimes you can just get all these alerts. So if you can go into your settings and just don't get alerts, because that is just like this constant context switching, constant distraction, constant inability to just be present doing what it is we are doing what you're doing when you're doing it. If we are being pulled away constantly, then it's hard. So that is just like super easy thing you can do. That is not me saying no more phone. It is taking those off. I'm not a huge fan of the Apple Watch. And that is because I feel like when you are getting those notifications, it's an actual like physical response on your body. And like, I'm not here for that. I'm not even going to tell you to get off your watch, but I want you to be mindful of that piece of it. How often are you in the middle of a conversation, you get an alert, and whether or not you can do it without looking, that is still some level of distraction when I am talking to you, that I know you're having to do that. That's kind of a problem. Because I can start having all these different messages of, is this person really interested in what I am saying? Do I have to filter what I'm saying? Should I just stop, not even go into it, because they clearly have something else that they need to do? So that mindfulness, if we're turning off all of the notifications on I don't have one, so I have no idea if you can even do that on the Apple phone, on the Apple Watch. You can definitely do it on your iPhone. You can definitely take off the notifications. So that's just a very easy step. If you've done that and you're like, I need more, Beth, give me more. Get the phone out of the bedroom. I said this in the last lesson. But get yourself a clock. Put your phone, charge it every night in a different room. Because that then opens up an opportunity for some kind of connection. Books can be similar as phones, as far as they can be walls. I just don't feel like they're as hard to maneuver and get into and to break, like, oh, I can get into that. And even in a book, I feel like there's more, tell me more about that book. When we're on the phone, who knows what we're doing? There's a whole world of things out there you could be doing. Get the phones out of the room. Create some rules. What are some other things that are distracting you? Are we putting too much energy and effort into and brain power into what's going on with our kids, or into things that we cannot control? Are we putting too much energy and effort into our kids' social life and their sports and their activities, that we don't have time for date nights because we're constantly go, 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 go? And, I'm okay with that, because that's okay. But then you're also okay with not having a marriage that's connected. So if you are here, my hope and my thought is that you're here to have a marriage that is connected. So we have to recognize what distractions we are allowing to create those disconnections. So we have to disconnect ourselves from these. So what Charlie and I did years ago was we canceled our TV service. So we still got Netflix after a while. That took us a while to figure out that we could still get that. But we just got, like the rabbit ears kind of TV. So we got like local channels, but it was like not very much. You couldn't record anything, and it would just kind of be something we do here and there. But it was like out of our life in a way that it had never been before. And we realized we had so much more time. We were like, and we were still so busy. We're like, how did we even watch TV? Like, how did we do this? It's definitely crept its way back in. So I'm being mindful of it in this moment as I say this to you, of how much more it has come in, and what areas of disconnection, and maybe what stage in our relationship, if I'm thinking about it, did it start to creep back in a little bit more? I think as our kids got older and they started wanting to watch some more TV, as I'm saying this out loud. So it's just being aware and then being intentional. What role do we want these distractions to play in our life? And being aware of, are they creating disconnection? And if we're wanting more connection with the humans in our actual proximity of in our home, whether that's our children or our partner or friends, where do we need to disconnect from? Right? Like, how often do we just pull up phones after school? Like, if you have a school where your kids can play on the playground and like you can talk to other parents, are you just on your phone? Or are you trying to create opportunities for connection with other parents? For whatever reason, like, little kids love me, and like constantly coming up to me at the playgrounds. If I'm on my phone, they're probably not going to, but I was able to respond to so many of their bids because I was just kind of, hanging out, looking at what kids were doing, being present. I was disconnected so I could connect. I was available for that kind of connection. Or when you go to the park, like not just after school, but the park, how many moms are on their phones? How many dads are on their phones? How many nannies are on their phones? How many grandparents? Probably not as many, right? So often we see that. So we are just eliminating opportunities for connection. And this isn't just with our partner, this is with just other humans. Let's find some connection with others. It would be amazing. But like, we really got to find it with our partner and realize how much we are looking to others' lives for what? Are we jealous? Do we want that? But we have to start being aware. Why are we watching this? I have so many people tell me, they're like, I just need to come home and just like, I have to be mindless and watch mindless TV. So I have to watch The Real Housewives. I'm like, oh my God. So I love The Real Housewives. I've watched it. I mean, it's been on for a really long time. I don't watch it anymore, but like New Jersey, loved it. So many of them loved it. Love watching that kind of fighting. There's some fun to it. But then it gets like, okay, what am I doing? I am like, so I'm putting energy here, I'm disconnecting from my own life. And I'm like, what am I putting my brain in? Conflict and fighting. And yeah, I'm not thinking, but I'm also adding negativity. Negativity begets negativity. Like, we look for that. We scan for that. We need to be aware of what we're putting in. If we need to be mindless, listen to a meditation. Shit. Like guided, So check out the homework. Think about this one. Even if it brings you laughter to say it for however many years, this has been my motto and what I've been trying to get across to my clients. And I'm hoping that we all can just make it funny. And we really need to learn how to disconnect to reconnect.